Okay, so we're starting um, with the large bear loosens its waist as we go through the winter set. And we're doing just general circles with the waist. Typically, I like to do just a little bit of bending and start to connect with the lower back as you sort of arc the torso and bend and give a little slight pull to extend the tissues in the back body there. Just start to connect and get a sense of what's going on, what the sensations are. Take a couple of deep breaths as we do this. From there, let's start to add some circles, nice, comfortable, smooth circles. As you circle around the back, inhale, coming around the front, exhale. Nice, comfortable beginning range for yourself. As you feel a little bit more warm, get a little bit more comfortable with the movement, then you can start to increase the range of motion. Let's turn to the side. Keep the feet comfortably parallel, and then just rotate the torso to the side a little bit. And slowly come back to the center, pass through center, and turn to the other side. And let's come back to center. Starting to feel loose, starting to feel smooth in the hip joint there. Let's change circles, change directions. See if you can do an S transition and add the yin yang component and change directions. And let's turn to the side. Let's turn to the center, pass through center, and back through the other side, to the other side. Again, try to coordinate the breath with the movement. Nice, easy, simple movement. See if you can coordinate the breath with that. Inhaling, half a circle, exhaling, other half circle. If it slows down the movement, that's okay. And let's come back to center and slowly spiral in to the center. Now you're standing up straight, bringing the movement to a close. So now we're going to alter the movement a bit. We're going to focus more now on, how do we say this? Keeping the spine still and erect. However, getting as much circling in the hips as we can. So as much as I can. And so what we'll need to do is bend the knees and the ankles, and as much as we can, I'm going to try to circle. Um, you might feel like you're circling the buttocks and the hips and rounding these edges and corners as you try to keep the spine still and upright. So this is in contrast to this large motion where we were allowing the body and torso to bend. Now we're going to try to keep it as much as we can upright. And last week, Anne was mentioning that it takes a little bit of abdominal engagement to uh, tuck the hips in and roll the hips around this forward circle. So you may feel that. And again, start with a nice, comfortable range of motion. As that becomes more familiar, if you feel comfortable with it, and then see if you can start to increase the range of motion. You'll notice that you'll need to bend the knees to get a little bit more access to the tissues in the hip joint there. Again, coordinating the breath with the movement, inhaling half circle and exhaling other half circle. Let's now turn to the side, keeping the feet comfortably parallel. Notice the angle change. Notice the um, change in sensation, the feeling of tissues that are accessed. You might notice a little bit of blockage somewhere, maybe some tightness. May feel a little bit of like a plucking of like a guitar string as you move through some of these um, tendon and ligament attachments. Let's pass through center to turn to the other side. And we're really trying to lubricate the hip joint here. And all of this movement too is going to help to draw down lower back tension, any kidney stagnation, and in the surrounding tissues, any tension that may be in the lower back. At any time, you can extend the legs and rise up off your stance for a higher stance. Let's come back to center. Yeah, because you'll notice that it requires a little bit of uh, thigh strength to keep the knees bent now. So let's change directions. I hope you didn't forget which direction you were going. So we're going to change directions of the circles, go back in the other direction. Starting with a nice, smooth, comfortable circle. Typically from the center, we like to say that we spiral out to a large range of motion. Anytime we feel stagnation or a pain of some sort, something that feels painful, and we can stop and pull back on that range of motion. If there's comfort, and then if there's a familiarity, you want to try to increase the range of motion. So you would make the circles spiral out larger and larger. That's the goal. Turning to the side now. May help to also turn the head to the side as well. See how far you can turn to look back behind you. And then slowly come back to the center, pass through center. Notice how when you start to turn the head, you start to feel a little bit of like a winding or a coiling that starts to build as you turn the head and see how far you can turn to look back behind you. Try to take note of this feeling because we're going to come back to that as we do another posture later. And let's slowly come back to center. Should be feeling nice and warm in the legs. Hip joints are lubricated, lower back may be open, warm as well. Okay. Next movement, hands under the toes. So the idea for this one is going to be to see if you can, let's say if this is my left foot, you're going to bend down, see if you can slip your hands under your foot. And that's what we're going to try to do. I'm wearing shoes, I'm outside, and so a lot of times we opt not to do that. Um, in that case, what we're going to do is as we bend down and bend forward, what we'll do is we'll still simulate that process by pointing the fingers back. And then, of course, if you like and if you feel comfortable with it, you can grab the ankles or grab the calves, the hands behind the calves, and access more of a stretch if that's something that you want to do. We'll first start by inhaling, lifting the hands up to the sky. Exhaling, setting the hands up, pointing the fingers up to the sky. We're going to inhale, stretch up, keeping the feet flat, keeping the back straight, hinging at the hips, exhaling, and then relaxing the torso, relaxing the shoulders, neck, and head to comfortably hang down. And again, pointing the fingers back behind you and regulating deep abdominal breathing. Feel the abdomen expanding as you inhale deeply, contracting. Let's bend the knees, drop the hips down, and slowly roll up. Nice long inhale here. Exhaling and posturing up. And next repetition. Inhaling, lifting the hands up to the sky. And exhaling, setting the hands, setting the arms. Inhaling, stretching up. Lengthening here. Feel the torso expanding and lengthening. And exhaling, hinging at the hips, straight back, straight arms. Point the fingers back towards the heels. Relax your neck, relax your head. And just allow the body to hang freely. Feel the tissues opening as you breathe deeply. And bend your knees, drop the hips, and arc the back, arc the spine, slowly roll up. Inhaling, long inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhaling, lifting the hands, arms. And exhaling, setting the arms, setting the shoulders. Then inhale, lengthen up, feel the torso rising and hinging at the hips, straight back, straight arms, exhaling. On this last repetition, what we can do is use the hands to engage the feet. You can grab at the heel or anywhere on the foot that allows you to turn the torso to the side, almost twisting to the side, adding a sideward angle to your stretch here. Use caution, breathe deeply, pass through center, change to the other side, get the other angle. And let's come back to the center, bending the knees, dropping the hips, rolling the spine up, long inhale. And exhale, coming back to center. Hold center here. Allow your heart rate or lung rate to come down. Couple of breath cycles here, deep abdominal breathing. Feel the shoulders relaxed. Lift the head up to the sky, slightly tuck in the chin. Feel the body's weight in the feet. Feel the feet connected to the ground. Just go ahead and note the sensation of stillness here. Okay. Next, we're going to go to Phoenix spreads wings. Phoenix spreads wings. So the goal here is to rotate the torso. Rotate the torso. Um, so we're going to begin with the arms out. You notice I have a wide base and a wide stance, bending the knees here. A couple of ways we can do this. What we're going to do is we're going to take a breath, inhale, and exhale, turn. And then we're going to bring the front hand to the opposite knee, and we're going to sink down and then try to get the torso parallel to the ground. As the torso becomes parallel to the ground, now the hand is going to be facing up to the sky. We're going to apply pressure on the knee and a rotation of the torso as we look up to the hand pointing to the sky. We're going to try to keep the base firm, keep the structure of the legs as well as we do that. To get out of the posture, we're going to inhale deeply, exhale, and then we're going to turn to face the ground, drop the hips, and then we're going to slowly rise up. So I'll cue you and I'll guide you through that process. Yeah. So get a nice comfortable base, comfortably bend the knees, feel your body's weight in the legs. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, turn to the side. Doesn't matter which side you turn. Notice the angle here. Notice the perpendicular line of your arms to the line of your legs. Deep breath again, inhaling and then exhaling. Bring that hand to the knee, bend at the waist so the torso becomes parallel to the ground. Now apply pressure of the hand onto the knee to rotate the torso. Turn the head to look up at the hand at the sky as well. Breathing comfortably, breathing naturally. When you're ready, on your inhale, go ahead and take a deep breath. Inhale, hold it. And then exhale, turn arms out to the side, facing the ground. Drop the hips. Inhaling again, coming up. And exhaling, dropping the hands, setting posture upright. Going to go to the other side now. Inhale, lifting the hands, arms, dropping, sinking the weight. Exhale, turn to the side. Feel the rotation in the torso start to establish. Take a deep breath. Inhale again. And exhale, drop the hand to the knee. Bend at the waist. Apply pressure on the knee, turning, rotating the torso. And hand up in the sky, looking up at the hand in the sky. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale, arms to the side, turning to the torso or turning the torso, facing the ground. Drop the hips, inhale up. And exhale, hands down. Relaxing, releasing on that exhale. Another breath cycle here. Inhale. And exhale. Relaxing tissues, releasing tissues. We're going to do one more each side. Inhale, lift the hands and arms, sink the weight a bit. And exhale, turn to the side. Inhale. And exhale, hand to the knee, bending at the waist. Apply hand pressure onto the knee, rotating torso, looking up behind you to the sky. And deep breath, inhale. Exhale, turn to face the ground, drop the hips. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands down. One more on the other side there. Inhale, sink the weight, lift the hands. And exhale, turn to the side. Make sure you maintain that structure of the legs and the base. Inhale deeply. And exhale, bend at the waist. Hand to the knee, apply pressure, rotate, look at the sky. And inhale deeply. Exhale, turn, drop the hips to slowly rise up, inhaling and exhaling, relaxing. Go ahead and bring the feet in. Take a few breath cycles here, just standing upright, setting mind and setting weight in the feet, feeling the feet's connection to the ground. Lifting head to the sky, slightly tucking in chin, relaxing shoulders, relaxing arms. And just comfortable breathing here, natural breathing. And we'll take a break here, see if there's any questions. One of my observations here is that this last posture, Phoenix spreads wings, um, I would say applies quite a bit of pressure on the hip joints, uh, meaning the hinging and the setting of the weight, especially in coming out. You got quite an angle here of the legs and the torso, and having to hold the weight as you're manipulating the torso's weight when it's parallel to the ground, and then even coming upright. It's a lot for the body to do, especially slow. So what I'm noticing is that it's important, the previous exercise that we're doing, for the lower back to be open, and then also for the hip joints to be open and lubricated and warm, I think, to really prepare for that Phoenix spreads wings posture, as it's quite challenging. And I know you guys have mentioned that before about that pose. If you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself there. And so this one's really fun. We noticed last week a lot of stuff going on, a little complex because we add the breath component as well. Very stimulating for the mind. So turning to look at the moon, turning to look at the moon. So we were using the hand drum as as a uh, as a kind of a symbol for the way that we want to do this, in that the hand drum, that central stick, flings and wraps the strings around the drum, right? In that also all of the motion and the momentum comes from that turning of the stick, right? And so in this exercise, the turning of the stick is going to be our rotational movement. And so we're thinking, well, if we really slow down that hand drum to slow motion, we notice that the the central line, it turns first, and then the strings wrap around, and then they hit the drum, and then with the rotation again of the torso, that initiates the strings to release and then come to the other side, right? So we want to apply that same principle. And so you'll notice, and I said this last week as well, you notice when I've gone to my range, my max range, there's an initiation of that stick, that center line, that rotation of the waist, the dantian, which initiates that motion so that the hands can follow. And then the arms, they have a momentum in and of themselves as they start to move. And then they even can start to apply torque into the torso to stretch the torso more. Okay. So, with all of that, of course, we're minding our range, we're listening to the body, and we're also adding the breath. So, the breath component adds, what would you say, um, stimulating pressure that coincides with the stretch and the release of the stretch. In that, when we, let's see, when we inhale, I have to remember, or I have to do it again. In principle, for the most part, every time we come to the center, we're exhaling. So we come through center, that's on an exhale, picking up on an inhale. So there's that transitional piece there, exhaling, but then picking up on an inhale when we're going into our max range and into our stretch, picking up on an inhale. So there's two transitional moments to be conscious of and be aware of. One where we're exhaling, coming back to the center, that's easy. But when we're coming to the end of our stretch and we're starting to transition into the next rotation to the other side. So, what we're doing and noticing is that we're stretching, inhaling, and then releasing in coordination. Breath, um, breath and tissues are expanding and stretching, and then breath is and tissues are going to be releasing and relaxing as we come back to the center. So this is something to try to acclimate yourself to as we get into the posture. For the posture and the mechanics of the posture itself, turning the sort of wrapping the hands, getting a sense of wrapping the hands around the body, and then also turning the neck and the head to see to look at the moon and get a full rotation of the head as well, and even the eyes. So that whole spiral and coiling of the body itself is even it finishes in the eyes. So let's give it a shot. Okay, we're gonna start at the center. We're gonna inhale, lift the hands, relax the knees. I'm gonna go to my right. If you want to mirror me, you can go to your left. I'm gonna start to rotate. Left hand back behind you, right hand in front. So go ahead and breathe comfortably and normally as you get comfortable with the movement. You're looking back behind you, even turning the eyes. And what we're going to do, similar to the last posture, is we're going to inhale deeply. Notice the sensation in the abdomen. See if you can pull the stretch as you inhale and then exhale. Allow your body to come out of the stretch. Feel the sensation of releasing and relaxing of the tissues as you come back to center. Breathe comfortably, breathe naturally, keep turning to the side. We're going to switch sides now. Feeling your range. Also turning the head and even turning the eyes. Now, as we prepare to turn to the other side, taking a deep breath, inhale. Feel the tissues loading, stretched, and exhale. Breath releases and tissues release. Coming back to center. Breathing comfortably, breathing naturally. Other side. Stretching, inhaling deeply, feel the abdomen expanding, feel the tissues loading, And exhale, release, slowly come out of the posture. Feel the tissues releasing, coming back to center at your own pace, breathing comfortably, breathing naturally. Turning to the other side, inhaling deeply and exhaling, breath releasing and tissues releasing. See if you can go at your own pace, establishing a rhythm for yourself. See if you can breathe in the nose, breathe out the nose, creating a nice movement and breath pace for yourself. And let's come back to the center. Deep breath inhale and exhale, relaxing, releasing. Giving those tissues a rest, noticing any sensation that may be going on in lower back, middle back, hips, or knees. Okay. Now we can move to the end of the session and finish with massage, and we can sit down now. I'm going to move inside where it's a bit warmer. And I'll go ahead and pause here. And if there's any questions about that movement, feel free to ask. All right, so let's see if I can get close here. A few reminders of how we, the techniques that we use to apply um, the massage on the ear. Yeah, my hands are cold too. So if your hands are cold, let's warm them up. Get the fingers warm. First thing that we'll start off with is again at the attachment of the ear to the head is where we want to start to apply pressure, a tugging, pulling pressure, sort of as if it's trying to separate the ear from the head, right? But um, feeling how that sort of pulls from the side of the head, back of the head. See how that feeling how that sort of pulls as you apply that pressure. Then there's a little bit of a turning as well, kind of like turning the dial as you start to pull the ear as well. Might feel some sensation in the forehead. Might feel some sensation in the eyes, jaw, maybe. Turn your palms, turn your hands, and change your grip to feel different angles and sensations. So I'm not going to be able to massage my ear because of the earbud. So let's start to get into the crevices of the ear itself with thumb and index or thumb index middle finger and applying like a little bit of like a rubbing in the crevices. And feel free to close your eyes. Close your eyes and connect yourself to the sensation deeper. Let the nerves guide the movement. Let the nerves guide the hands. Maintain deep abdominal breathing. Still promote relaxation. And then we'll finish off with the brushing of the head and hair just to bring the energy down. Inhaling, brushing up and over. Exhaling down. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, down. Okay, so let's move to the feet now. Remove socks or shoes or both. See what's most comfortable for you. Like I'm putting my foot on the chair here. Okay, I kind of got kicked off there, but it brought me back. So we're back. We're putting the foot on the leg or on the chair. See what feels most comfortable for you. If you're putting it on the leg, go ahead and take a second. Let the hip open up. You want the hip to be relaxed. Okay, so we'll start off with applying pressure from the knuckles onto the sole of the foot just to connect. I'm supporting the leg and ankle with the other hand and applying the knuckles and pressure to massage. and connecting with the foot and just feeling what areas may be tender. And we're going to go ahead and come back to those areas and apply some pressure to release those tender areas. So let's do that now. We're going to use now two thumbs as we support the whole foot with two hands. I'm going to wrap the thumbs around and then apply now more of a focused pressure onto any area of interest that uh, feels that needs it. And I'm just doing a nice broad sweeping motion from the heel area down to the toe area, passing over this area of interest that is sensitive. Good. If you want now to find an area there where you want to apply some pressure and then just kind of hold it with the thumbs and a little bit of a circular motion there as you hover over a spot. And you get to choose how much pain you want to give yourself or pleasure. Okay. Okay. We're going to go to scratching using the nails as best you can. If you don't have nails, and do what you can, and stimulate the nerves. Kind of feels like you're tickling yourself, but if you apply a little bit of a strong scratch, you can kind of get over that and not feel such a tickling feeling or sensation. Okay, so with a firm fist now on the sole of the foot, hitting the fist, hitting with the fist. So you're applying a nice thudding impact, but there's also a little bit of a resonant or a vibrational component that comes with the thud as well. So you might feel like some sort of vibration in the toes or in the joints of the toes, maybe going up to the knee area. Now do slapping with a nice open hand palm. You want to get that nice sound of the slap. Brings the energy to the skin. And let's finish with the brushing. Okay, so that'll finish that foot. Move to the other. Comfortably putting the foot on the leg and letting the hip open. So you might need to take a few breath cycles here as you place the foot on the knee, and you can bend forward a little bit to open up the hip. A couple of deep breath cycles. And we'll go through the same process here, supporting the foot with one hand and then using the knuckles to connect to the sole of the foot, find those areas of interest that you're going to want to massage. You could even use the thumb as well. So I'm using all the fingers, the knuckles of the fingers, but you can even go with the thumb. We're doing like a little bit of a rolling type of a motion, or like a knuckle, doing like a knuckle brushing. Okay, now we're supporting the foot with both hands, and then wrapping the thumbs around in to do a little bit of like a sweeping motion that we were currently just doing, with a little bit more pressure of the thumbs, a little bit more of a focused pressure now. If you want, you can start to just target one area, stick with one area, see what it feels like. Might notice some sensations that arise maybe in like the torso or the abdomen. That's good. You're getting deep, means you're getting deep, allowing some stagnation to clear. Okay. And we'll finish it off with starting with the process of scratching. I'm using all fingers, all fingernails, just making this sort of hand posture. Pounding now with a firm fist. And open hand slap. And finally brushing.
that completes the session for today.